hiking out to the mine. We stopped to catch our breath and chose a spot with a great view to do so. Pretty rugged hike to get out here, but the views make it worth it. We have made the very long and arduous hike from down the bottom of the canyon, a significant distance down that way. And I'm happy to report that the waste rock pile is finally in sight. See it there? That's our target that we've been working towards all day, and it's one that I spotted a long time ago. It's been on my list for almost a decade, so I'm very happy to finally be getting up here to check it out at the end of this dramatic box canyon. It's been a pretty hike, but an arduous one. Gonna have a little catch our breath here for a minute, have a little snack, and then head on up the waste rock pile. I was last shooting down there. We've been climbing up this wash to avoid the brush. Here's a better view of the waste rock pile. We're gonna cut over, get to about there, then cut over, then climb up the waste rock pile. Getting a good view of it though. It looks like it's got potential. It's a decent size. We have this balancing rock in front of us here, which is kind of cool. We made our way up from the wash over there. Getting through that brush was not easy because we were going against the grain, but you can see that I'm standing on top of the waste rock pile, and I think you'll like what's behind us. I was just standing there to show you the view, and we're on a landing, and just back where Jake is an open adit. Down here you can see some pulverized metal, which is mostly vent pipe. I've got cable, a fair amount of cable. The weather here is pretty extreme, so the metal is reflecting that. The cable runs up, and you can see there's some pinned into the rock there. There's some more cable there, and then, like I said, the open adit is there. I'll get up there and show you. There's a look inside the portal. A very attractive entrance, but despite the water dripping down in front, it's actually dry, at least initially, and there's rail inside also, so you know those are things that we like. There's the face. And I was just shooting that landing down there. So, only one thing left to do, and that's head inside. There's Jake squeezing in. It's nice to have him in here to give you some scale and what's involved in these things. Now that he's in, I'll pick up down there. Just dropped in from there. As you can see, it is dry. They had strap rail. You can see it at my feet here. And strap rail running back in a very nice shaped adit. And as soon as we get a little ways back from the portal, you can see that the strap rail is actually in decent shape. The boards are all still here. We're able to stand up straight in this adit, which is nice. Usually we're hunched over, which is uncomfortable after a while. No sign of any footprints. There was absolutely no modern trash. Got good rock here. Oh, nice. That seems to run for a ways. Well, I'm geeking out on the high quality strap rail. I'm really impressed with how well preserved this is.
Yeah.
Just a little notch. I'm looking for drill holes and things like that, but I'm not seeing any yet. Considering that this isn't a fault, they did a pretty good job squaring this off.
Second pile of broken glass. Curious. As to that story.
Wonder how long that's been there.
Doesn't look like it's
Yeah, that
new. It's very thin.
Yeah, that is old. Huh. Bunch of metal fragments there too, huh?
Food can.
Love to see some carbide graffiti.
Scrap rail's up and gone.
Curious.
Looks like it might pick up again, but where did this stuff go? I think the vein was on the left. I saw quartz stringing out of the bottom left when we came in.
Oh, that would make sense.
You kind of pick up little bits of quartz here and there on the left side.
There's a drill hole. You can see that's an old one. That's a very small drill hole that was done by hand almost certainly. Don't know what that piece of metal is about. Yeah, I have noticed the left side.
Oh, here you go. Here's a big pocket of quartz here.
Okay, cool.
And here explains the crystals.
Yeah, we found some crystals outside in the waste rock.
Natural pockets here. And that gives space, allows the crystals to grow. They're usually filled with like a clay. It might not be filled with anything, but you can see crystals in here. Not good ones, and they're dirty, but you can see that they're forming in those pockets.
Well, it's interesting to see that they're running on a vein too. The ribs are pretty muddy, so there's more water here, which is washed off in mud, which is why we're seeing the quartz, but stands to reason that everything we've been passing on this side is quartzy. We're still running, bending around. It makes sense that we're bending around since they're following the vein. Some of the quartz in there. It might have been burning candles here, given how old this mine is. See those ledges? Very muddy. I was hoping to see some miners graffiti, but it's so muddy in here that there's not much hope for that. There was a timber jammed in there, you see that? Corresponds to there, and I can see why. Because there's a big air gap running up here right over my head. Probably not the best place to hang out. Although if it's going to come down, you would think it would have done it by now. I was wondering if that was I think those are rodent droppings. I was wondering, I saw the dark spots. I was wondering if it was burned candle. Still bending and wrapping around. There's some wood scraps. Tossed back here. Yeah, there's quartz all through here. It's hard to see it with the mud. There's some quartzy chunks right there. Now, there's a couple interesting things here. It's interesting that wood is burned. I don't know why. I don't know how or why that would have happened.
Someone was here at some point. These quartz pockets.
Oh, they've been picked out?
Very clean. Now, it could have been decades. But
yeah. And there's some flora material there, I think. Old can right there. Mine's still going, the strap rail's still going. The rodents like this section. Just a really faint trace of the quartz here. That might be an old stick of dynamite. Hard to tell. There's some glass in there too. That looks a lot more like there was a candle burning there, which is entirely possible with this mine. This is a very old mine indeed.
I stepped on an old tie. You barely see it.
Yeah?
Oily yellow
wow.
water
Funk.
just immediately filled in the hole.
Wow.
It was very interesting to watch.
Oh, nice. Okay, now we're a little lower. Is that metal?
Bottle, a liquor bottle.
Is that metal, that thing you just pulled out?
No, that's wood.
Good echo. That is an old bottle. Wow. Oh, I'm really low on this section. More wood scraps. More bending and twisting around. Another can on the ground. There's lots of these ledges, which really makes me think they were placing candles there. You don't see anything like that in more recent mines. Look, there's some ground fall up ahead. There's some quartz for you. I bet there's something overhead. There's more quartz. Nice section of vein here. See where they had a timber right there? The hole there? That's kind of cool.
This is kind of delaminating a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've got this nice slab of quartz over my head. See that crystal pocket right there? They're dirty, but those are crystals. That's pretty cool. Great, mine keeps going. Okay, I gotta make my way through this. I was just standing on the other side of that. Had to pay attention. I was going over the rocks. There's a look what's overhead. I don't really think they mined this out. I think a lot of this fell down on its own, if not all of it. Very often the ore is not the most stable material. Now it's interesting, you can see these timbers have been here, so at one time they were much larger, but they obviously cut down these trees from outside. But what I'm trying to say is that the original timber would have covered, it would have been smooth, it would have covered all of this growth up, and it's rotted back to the core there. I don't feel like I'm explaining that well, but we've seen that at other mines where the wood has been there for 100, 150 years or more, and it rots back to the core and exposes where branches were. All right, and it looks like there's something mysterious. What is that?
Pretty good hypothesis.
Yeah?
This is what we needed at our mine. Drip catch.
Ah. There's a bunch of stuffery here. I like it. Okay, so they were diverting the drip, which is coming down from there. A metal bolt right there. This is flattened out vent pipe, in case you guys couldn't detect that.
Now here's something that you won't be able to tell, Justin.
What's that?
Can you read the red lettering?
I cannot.
Patented November 21st, 1893.
Wow, really?
It's probably the exact same vent pipe that's outside, pulverized into rust.
But this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like.
Out of the elements. Wow, that's really cool. I can sort of, let's say,
That's I believe this is number 26-30.
okay, I think I can see that NO, but I can see there is writing there, but I just can't make out what it says. Nice little stash spot here. See the old dynamite box and then the vein down there. I'm partially colorblind with red in particular. Certain shades of red I can't see, so that's what that comment about me being able to see that was about. Now, I was just seeing if there was anything in the box or anything I could read on the box, but no such luck. Hit the end?
Yep, they never cleaned up their last shot.
Wow.
The rock's cleaner. Still didn't see any graffiti.
That's too bad. Oh, they did in fact not clean up their last shot. We came in far enough on the vein. I wonder if they made any money or at least broke even on this mine. I mean, obviously not great because they didn't keep going, but I wonder if it was good enough.
Well, it doesn't seem like they invested a lot in infrastructure, except maybe a road.
Yeah, that's true.
Strap rail, an ore car.
That's true. A lot of this could have been done.
2 guys.
Yeah. The vein keeps going, so they decided to stop following it, obviously. So it's not like the vein pinched out. The rodents have been active here, as you can see. Well, it's cool to visit a mine that there's a good chance no other living person has seen, given how remote this is and difficult to reach. And it's cool to cross off a mine that's been on my list for 8 years after I first spotted the waste rock off in the distance. So feel good about that. Feel good about the underground time. And I do like these old mines. So hopefully you guys found this one interesting too. All right, I'll catch you at the next mine.